Hey there, welcome back to Episode Breakdown. I'm Oliver. If you thought the Season 4 premiere was a lot to handle, From just said hold my talisman and delivered an episode that's equal parts heart-shattering, psychologically brutal, and universe-expanding in the most terrifying way. Today we're doing a full spoiler-packed breakdown of Episode 2, titled Fray. Trust me, the title isn't just a word, it's a warning. Before we get started, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our breakdowns. Let's get into it. The episode opens with that cold, blue-down light seeping into Colony House, and honestly, that ramshackled building has never felt less like a refuge and more like a prison. Kenny wakes up on a clinic cot, exhaustion and grief weighing down his eyes. The unspoken thing sitting in everyone's stomach like a stone. Sophia. That seemingly innocent, devout Catholic girl who rolled in with her father last episode, she's not a girl at all. She's the man in yellow, walking among them in human flesh, and the only people who know are carrying that secret like a live grenade. So Kenny's first move is to check on Sophia, and where does he find her? Standing outside the clinic, face streaked of tears, completely exposed, which in Fromville, even in daylight, is a death wish.
No. Sophia! Come back inside. We need to get back inside.
Kenny?
Get inside!
Kenny's voice is that perfect tightrope. Concern, but suspicion. He grabs her arm, pulls her back inside, scanning the tree line. Now, Sophia turns on the waterworks, telling Kenny her father died during the night, how kind he was, how he didn't deserve this place. And I need you to pay attention to the performance. Or maybe it's not a performance at all. The man in yellow might be letting a real girl's memories bleed through, or he's just that good. But the camera catches it. As Kenny comforts her, hand on her shoulder, there's a split-second flicker in Sophia's eyes. It's the man in yellow, gloating, a smirk behind those irises that vanishes almost before it registers. Chills. Absolute chills. This isn't just a monster who wants to slaughter everyone at once. He's learned to play the long game, to savor the slow unraveling of hope itself.
I told you don't go outside, I told you!
He's dead.
What?
My father died.
I take care of you.
But while Kenny's stuck in that uneasy dance, Boyd Stevens is having one of those "this is going to haunt me forever" conversations. He pulls Elgin aside, away from eavesdroppers, and lays down a gut punch of an ultimatum. Everything that happened in the root cellar, Fatima giving birth to a resurrected Smiley, Elgin losing an eye to pliers, and Boyd shattering a teenage girl's hand with a hammer, has to stay buried. No one can find out what we did, Boyd says, voice flat and hard as a shovel blade.
What I'm about to say is not for me. It's for everyone here. People find out what happened. The people find out what you did, what we did. And I can't let that happen.
Elgin, his face still a patchwork of bandages and purple swelling, stares back. And what if I don't agree? Boyd doesn't blink. He's already done the moral math and hates the answer. If Elgin talks, Boyd will tell the entire town that Elgin killed Tilly. He will have him thrown into the box, the same box Boyd once railed against, the one that killed Frank in Season 1. The exhaustion in his voice when he explains it cuts deep. If the residents learn that one of the creatures who died came back to life as Fatima's baby, they'll lose whatever little sanity they have left. He's not just convincing Elgin, he's convincing himself. And when Elgin says the truth always comes out, Boyd's reply is the most terrifying thing he's ever said. If I were you, I'd make sure that it doesn't. This is Boyd's Season 4 arc laid bare, the principled sheriff morphing into a pragmatic, even ruthless warlord. You can see the cost etched in the exhausted lines of his face, and it's absolutely devastating to watch.
You're gonna tell them that you lost your eye trying to help out.
And if I don't,
And I will tell everyone that you killed Tilly.
you're gonna find out. One way or another, the truth always comes out.
If I was you, I would make sure it doesn't.
Now, that uneasy truth shatters in a heartbeat when Boyd spots something through binoculars. Something hanging from the motel sign, dripping something thick and red onto the pavement. In a town where terror is the daily soup, this is a quantum leap of horror. Boyd sprints, shouting for people to stay back. By the time he gets there, a small crowd has gathered. Jade, Donna, Kenny, and others. The bag's burlap, stained dark with blood, turning slowly like the world's most macabre Christmas ornament. The smell of copper and rot hits Boyd instantly, and he knows nothing good waits inside. Tabitha is barely holding things together when little Ethan barrels outside, panic and childish hope colliding. Is that my dad? Is that Jim? He He screams. Boyd catches him mid-run, telling him everything's okay. A lie so transparent, it's insulting. But what else can you say? He carries Ethan back, while Tabitha freezes on the porch, her face a mask of pure dread. Her solution is to send the kids away. She cups Julie's face, then Ethan's, voice cracking. Please go see the animals. Let the grown-ups handle this. Julie nods, takes Ethan's hand, and leads him to the barn.
No.
Mom, what is that? What's in the bag?
Oh, no, hey.
Is that my
No.
dad?
Whoa.
Is that my dad?
No.
My
Hey,
dad in there?
hey, everything's okay.
We're gonna go. It's not him. We'll go find him, right? Come on.
With the kids gone, Boyd and Jade lower the bag. It's heavier than it should be, hitting the ground with a wet thud. Tabitha insists on opening it herself. She believes it's her husband, and she won't let anyone else do that for her. The bag spills open, and inside are goat heads, ram heads, a grotesque tangle of horns and fur and half-closed animal eyes. A collective exhale of relief sweeps the crowd. It's not Jim, but relief lasts a second because the implication slams in. This was psychological warfare. The creatures wanted her scared, wanted Tabitha to dread opening that bag. And now the real question claws its way up. If that's not Jim, then where is he? The answer comes from the very place Tabitha sent her children as a sanctuary. The barn doors creak open, and inside, suspended from the rafters by his ankles, is Jim Matthews. Julie screams, a raw, rending sound that carries across the entire town. By the time Tabitha arrives, it's a tableau of grief. Her legs give out, she collapses clutching at the straw as if she could dig through reality itself. But the creatures aren't done. Painted in blood on the barn wall, in deliberate, almost childish block letters, is the message: knowledge comes at a cost. This wasn't a hurried kill, it was a ritual.
No. Oh, no. Come here.
Oh my God.
Boyd helps Tabitha up, while Ellis and Jade gently take Jim's body down, wrapping him in a sheet to carry to the church, Fromm's Grim Morgum. Ellis says they need to clean him up before the family sees him again, but Boyd's mind is spinning on those words, and Jade, grim as a reaper, just says, we need to talk.
We need to clean him up before Tabitha and the kids see him.
Knowledge comes at a cost. The fuck does that even mean?
We need to talk.
So Jade pulls Boyd and Ellis into his room, where his conspiracy board has grown into a sprawling web of maps, sketches, frantic notes, strings connecting the impossible. He brings up Sarah's brother's theory. This place doesn't want us looking for answers. The more you push, the harder something pushes back. Boyd confirms Sarah said the same in the woods. Then Jade drops the bombs. Tabitha and I have been coming back, over and over, hundreds of years, and Jim was part of it. The children in the tower chanting Ankhui, they're trying to tell us something. Ankhui means remember. They want us to remember who we are. Boyd asks, remember what? Jade's answer is a punch to the soul, that we've failed before. Every cycle we get close to saving the children, and every cycle the town kills us, or kills the people we love. Jim died because of us, because we pushed too hard. Knowledge comes at a cost, and the cost is blood.
Knowledge comes at a cost? That's why they wrote it. They killed Jim because of us.
If we pushed too hard, something would push back.
What's that?
Something Sarah said once we were out in the woods.
Ellis, silent until now, asks the terrifying question. So what do we do? Just stop looking? Boyd doesn't answer right away. He's thinking of Sarah, his wife, the box, Elgin, all the morally gray decisions piling up. I don't know, but we can't let this break us. Tell me about the children, the cycle. If we understand it, maybe we can end it without getting anyone else killed.
Assuming you're right, that you and Tabitha have been coming back here over and over and over, that these kids keep calling you back to help them. How do we do it? I mean, how do you even begin to save something already dead?
I don't know. I'm working on it.
Work harder.
While Jade intellectualizes the horror, Tabitha drowns in it. In one of the most haunting images of the entire series, we find her alone in that barn, on her hands and knees, scrubbing Jim's blood off the walls with a frantic mechanical focus. It's irrational, a physical manifestation of grief that serves no purpose. But she's not trying to be rational. She's trying to keep her mind from shattering into 1,000 pieces. Jade finds her in the doorway, silhouetted by light. He tries to comfort her by talking about the reincarnation cycle, how their souls are bound, how Jim was a part of it too. He's offering meaning, but it lands like a slap. Tabitha doesn't look up, doesn't pause, and then she says, voice flat and cold as winter stone, "I wish it had been you instead of Jim. I wish you had died and he was still alive." He knows she might mean it, and that's somehow worse.
What do you know, huh? What do you know? Do you want to go back to the bottle tree and play your stupid violin? Because you got nothing to it. Because you don't give a shit about anybody but yourself.
That is not true.
It should have been you.
Jim's death sends shockwaves everywhere. We get a brief but poignant scene between Victor and his father, Henry. Victor, who's seen more death than anyone, is shaken beyond typical grief. The subtle implication here is chilling. Victor believes Henry might be Jim's reincarnation, the next in the cycle, the next target. Henry tries to console his son, but the dread hangs in the air like a fog you can't shake.
You and me, and we're together. I'll take that any day of the week, no matter what gets written on the walls. We face this together.
And then there's Acosta, who is officially losing her grip. She snaps at people, paces like a caged animal, and then does something truly surreal. Climbs into the ambulance and drives it in circles around town, a symbolic rejection of everything Fromville is. Christy climbs in with her, maybe to stop her, maybe to join the madness. It's a bizarre, alarming image that underscores just how much the town's sanity is fraying at the edges.
Turn off the engine and get out of the ambulance.
No, look.
The ambulance. You want to go for a ride? I'm coming with you.
Fine.
Julie isn't content to just grieve. Her story-walking ability, stepping through those forest arches into the town's history, is growing stronger. She goes to Randall, one of the few people who knows, and asks him to watch over her body. Randall agrees because he knows she'll do it anyway. Julie steps through a stone arch and the world dissolves. She lands in a memory from season 2, that chaotic night Randall kidnapped Donna and Jim and Boyd were heading back through the forest. She tries to reach her dad to warn him, but the memory is fragile and the creatures are here, even in the past. One of them grabs her, a cold, clawed hand clamping down on her arm with terrifying realness. Randall feels her convulse and yanks her back just in time. This confirms story walking is incredibly dangerous, that the creatures can perceive her across time. It also reveals Julie's desperation. She's willing to risk her life, her mind, for a chance to save her father. And that grief-driven recklessness is going to be a huge part of her journey this season.
Well, you guys sit down and go! Go! Go!
Dad! Get off me!
But I want to play.
And then we get the episode's most haunting sequence. Ethan, the little storyteller, doesn't cry or scream at first. He retreats. He slips away from the adults to the Matthews RV, still parked on the outskirts, the place where his dad was last fully alive and his. Inside, Ethan picks up the CB radio and starts calling for Thomas, his baby brother who died before all this began. It's the act of a child reaching into the void, hoping someone will answer. And someone does, but it's not Thomas. The RV dims, shadows lengthen and coalesce into a shape Ethan knows, his father, Jim Matthews, or something wearing him, stands there, glowing faintly, expression gentle, but eyes burning with urgency. Ethan, you need to listen to me. You need to find the Lake of Tears. Now, if that name rings a bell, it should. All the way back in season 1, episode 2, Ethan had a dream about the Lake of Tears, sketches of his family, strange premonitions. And now, 2 seasons of escalating horror later, that mysterious phrase slams back as a full-blown prophecy. The vision doesn't explain what the Lake of Tears is, where to find it, or what happens when he does. It just leaves the command hanging. Ethan reaches out, crying for his dad to stay. What does this mean? It could be Jim's actual consciousness reaching across the barrier of death, meaning death in Fromville isn't a hard stop. It could be the town manipulating Ethan's grief to lure him into a trap. Or it could be Ethan's storytelling mind conjuring the comfort he needs in the only way it knows. The episode intentionally refuses to clarify, and that uncertainty is exactly why it works.
What are you doing out here?
I came to get the radio.
I need you to do something very important. Do you remember what you dreamt about?
Lake of Tears?
It's here, and I need you to find it.
Why can't we find it together?
The episode closes on a montage that pounds home the title Fray. Every structure holding this community together is coming apart. Boyd returns to Colony House, movements heavy, expression edging into defeat. He's threatened they traumatize Boy with the box. He's covered up the truth about Smiley's rebirth. He watched the family get obliterated while the evil in charge did a victory lap. You can see it in his eyes. He knows the worst is coming. And the final shot, it lingers on Sophia. She's sitting on the clinic steps, hands folded in prayer, face a serene, beatific mask. But as the camera pushes in, you catch the faintest trace of a smile at the corners of her mouth. The man in yellow is perfectly pleased. The game is going exactly as he planned. Fray earns its title in every sense. It's about fighting, but it's also about the wearing away at the edges, of hope, of morality, of family. The death of Jim Matthews isn't just a shock twist, it's a fundamental recalibration. The old rules are shredded. The man in yellow walks in daylight, can change his shape, can lie and manipulate and wait. No one is safe. The message knowledge comes at a cost is a warning to the characters and to us. The answers, when they come, might not be a relief. They might be a horror. The question haunting those final seconds isn't what happens next. It's how many more people will fray before those answers finally arrive. And that, my friends, is from Season 4, Episode 2, Fray, turned inside out. I'm genuinely rattled, and I need to hear your theories in the comments. What is the Lake of Tears? Is Ethan being guided or groomed? And how long can Boyd keep that secret before the town tears itself apart? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if this breakdown left you gasping, and subscribe to Episode Breakdown so you don't miss a single twist. I'm Oliver, and remember, in Fromville, the truth will find you, and the cost might be everything. I'll see you next time.